Let's talk all about AI in business. It's hosted by Brent Muller. Welcome to the Future Proof Podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of Future Proof. I am your host, Brent Muller, and this is the podcast where we interview CEOs, founders, leaders, and execs on the emerging AI revolution and how it is impacting and disrupting pretty much every industry and how our leaders are navigating it. Today, I am joined by Taylor Sutherland of Charlie Soap. Taylor, great to have you.
Thank you very much. I enjoy it. I'm
looking
awesome.
forward to it. Before we jump in, let me just tell everybody what we do here at Deploy and Future Proofed. We custom build AI micro solutions for founders, execs, and companies. And we do a no pitch 30-minute collab. Anytime you want to talk to us, the links will be in all the show notes. Just book a call with us and see if we can help. And that's it. Anyway, let's jump in with Taylor today. Taylor, tell us about your background, as we always start with the founder's journey.
My background is many, wild, and diverse.
I love it, as many of our founders are, right?
Oh, my gosh. I started off, actually got a physics degree from Clemson University, thinking I was going to be an astronaut.
Are you a fellow Tiger? Oh, I didn't know this. Go Tigers.
Even when they...
Yes.
Clemsoning is a real word.
It is a real word.
Oh, my God. But no, I had my head in the clouds forever, and turns out I just needed to pivot. I went from there to teaching, to working at GE, and my dad calls me in 2002, said, "Son, I need you to come home and work for me at the soap factory." And I'm like, "Oh, God, I have failed as a human being." I said, I will absolutely come back because I'm about to get fired anyway.
Yeah.
But he says, I'm going to work in the office. I don't want to make soap. I don't want to drive the truck. He says, "I'm not going to let you near the equipment anyway. So yeah, you can work in the office perfectly. I need your brain." I'm like, "Fine." So I went in there, and that was 24 years ago.
Wow.
And
fantastic.
We had, the first year we had a loss equal to my salary. That'll really put the screws to you to know exactly how much you're worth, which was literally nothing.
Yeah.
But that was a very good motivator. I put it pedal to the metal, my brothers and I, and we got out there and shared what we already knew was a phenomenon locally. We just had to get it out there. And shortly thereafter, it was one store, then two, and now we are the number one selling laundry powder scent-free in grocery today. So
wow, that's fantastic.
And it has nothing to do with our sales technique or anything like that. It's pure product driven. I mean, you build
Isn't that the best way?
Yeah. Beg your pardon?
Isn't that the best way, right? If you had it to be,
Oh,
let the product sell itself.
If you have a good product, it will sell itself. If you have a horrible product and you're basing it on your sales technique, you got to come up with a new lie every Thursday. And it's just mind-numbingly painful. Yes. So it's a lot easier to come up with really good stuff that people want to talk about. And it was based in the textiles back in the 70s. We were making oils, and we needed a way to clean the oils where nothing else would touch it. And Charlie Soap fit the bill, and it's Katie barred the door.
And for everybody that doesn't know, I mean, Taylor and his family are entrenched in the middle of textile country, right? I mean,
what used to be textile country.
What used to be textile country, right? And I'm right there with you. Like I'm a little down the road, but yeah, this whole quarter was textile country for sure. So It's fantastic. And you guys have grown and evolved. So talk to us about the company now, and talk to us about, where the vision is for it.
Well, Charlie Soap is a multi-channel industry. We have sales B2C, as you would imagine, a direct-to-consumer on charliesoap.com and on amazon.com, turning people onto a different way to clean. We do, long story short, we make laundry detergents that are second to none. They actually remove everything that's not supposed to be in that. If it's not supposed to be in there, it's gone, so that you're essentially got new clothes every single day. That, in turn, is also available in retail outlets like Harris Teeter, Fresh Market, Food City, Food Lion, Lowe's Foods, Kroger, and countless independents. I actually developed a new target this quarter to recapture all my independents who kind of flit and float and go their own way. And the last way, which is a new one, is our technology is something that private labelers are looking for, because a lot of times they just buy whatever's off the shelf, put their name on it, and go to town, which is really cheap for them, but it doesn't breed consumers. So we're working with third-party labelers to say, hey, put a quality product behind your cost-effective private label, and you're going to get the best of both worlds. Consumers that buy it for cheap for the prices, and then realize that they can continue to use that. But last but not least, we actually use it to clean sewers. You dump it down in the sewer just a little bit at a time, and it prevents the fog from building up, which means the sewers don't smell, and they don't break down, and they don't have to get jetted out, and they don't. And so this is new same technology, new approach for us, and we're trying to increase that.
So do you see some other commercial lines coming? I mean, if you can do sewers, I would imagine there's a lot easier things on the commercial side that you could start to.
Just general Jan sand for cleaning up, big ticket locations, as well as in process, for instance, like metal stamping or cleaning materials before they are dyed or cut, or other types of things like before they're painted. It's not etching. Like, for instance, if you're powder coating a metal, you can clean it with the Charlie soap, not even rinse it, powder coat it, and the powder coat will last longer. So these little incremental adaptations to our technology is something that I'm constantly working on explaining to people who've done it the way they've done it for 150 years. And it's a big learning curve for them to say, oh, well, I'm going to try something new. Nobody likes to try something new.
Right.
but why not? We're just going to keep pushing and letting the consumer side pay the bills while we do some of this fun stuff.
Yeah, no, totally get it. So as you look down the road, is creating new products, right? Expanding the product line more important, or opening new channels like you just talked about?
Opening new channels and diversifying the application of the same technology. We have like cleaner and laundry, but if you look at the ingredients, it's the same thing, but it's mixed different ways. Chicken, rice, and beans makes 36 different dishes depending on how you mix it.
That's a great
still
point.
Chicken, rice, and beans, but they're layered in there differently. So it's an educational thing. Say, this product, maybe we'll tweak it for you a little bit here and there on the edges. Same technology, different application, and then trying to find avenues for that.
Unbelievable. Love it. So
it's fun. And we go up against the big guys all the time.
Yeah, and you're going up against marketing machines, right? So to me, I would imagine it's your story, your brand story, that sets you up.
Yeah, it's that. I'm third generation Charlie. This is actually fourth generation Charlie, who is about to end his third grade tenure right now and go into the fourth grade.
Yeah.
I am too old.
So your window's shrinking before he's ready to take over, right?
All he's interested in is Fortnite, so I don't.
Yeah.
If I can get him to have a Charlie soap skin on Fortnite, oh my God. Maybe I need to win a tournament with a Charlie soap skin.
Ideas are spawning as we talk.
That's why they make me visionary, because I come up with the stupidest ideas, and half of them are not as stupid, and half of those are actually get implemented.
Yeah, that's all you need.
That's right. I have a whole wonderful team working below me, so they actually do get some traction and move forward.
So I always ask this question before we jump into the emerging tech is, as you look down, I don't think anybody can really, we used to build these 5 and 10 year plans. I just think they're out the window now with how tech is reshaping the landscape. But as you look down your next 1 to 2 years, right? Obviously, you're going to add new applications and new channels for sure. What else do you see? Is it within the industry in general, and how you guys navigate through that?
The way we're attempting to navigate through it right now is directly with AI. We're augmenting old school door knocking to introduce new products by using AI to reach out to not 10 people at a time because you had lunch with somebody's brother who happened to know him from the country club, and now you got a connection to 2 people, which is great. But you need to do thousands and thousands of those at a time. So we're using AI to create a network of contacts of like-minded people, of people who not only like-minded as far as what they want to do, but also the way they think and the way they operate, and trying to make these connections across millions of companies to bring Charlie Soap to their forefront. We've gone through the first iteration, but that's all right. You got to keep going. That's number one. Is we're trying to outreach to a lot more people than you could ever. So it's outreach is number one. What we outreach with is the other thing. I've told this story 150,000 times since 2002, and every single day I tell it a different way. I discovered a method of selling, I just ran across it. And I have actually been using AI to put my story into that framework. And number one, if you have an AI, don't use the free versions because it'll never learn from you.
It never learns.
Spend the money and jump into it. And you can talk with these things on not an assistant basis, but as a collaborator. And they're a lot smarter than they were 6 months ago.
Way smarter.
They were a lot smarter than they were 2 months ago.
Right. So wait till the MCP models come out that are brand new. Yeah, it's crazy.
I was using 03. I was using 03 last week on ChatGPT. I actually found out that 03 doesn't like to just talk and talk and talk. It wants very specific information. So I used 40 to write a prompt for 03 to generate exactly what I needed, which was really kind of cool.
Very cool.
So a lot of it is just outreach and boiling down this chaos of thought in my head down to laser-focused outreach program, what to say and to whom to say it.
Yeah. Yep. And what you're describing is what we call, because one of my other companies, we own a data company, and we call this whole drive with AI personalization at scale. You want to be able to talk to Taylor and Brent completely separately with not the same message, right? And that is where everything is moving. We used to start to, hey, I have 1,000 people on my list. Let me send them an email, right? That the broadcast email. And now it's getting, how do I break those into smaller groups to the point where AI is going to let you customize every single person differently. And it's a way better experience for everybody involved. And that's what you're doing is exactly what should be done and the way you use it.
We're kind of scaling that so that you can have not 50,000 messages, but six. But right. You scale it to people who respond to that style of speaking. So you find everybody that talks this way and you write your email that way and you send that off to 200 people. And you find all the people that through their information that they've input into the world, they like to be spoken to this way. You tailor that message, same channel, different message, same channel, and you block that off.
And then the other thing is, I'm guessing that you're also getting good at content syndication, right? Getting your content out on these different channels, Charlie Soap everywhere, right? Because
trying to. Right now the channels, it's YouTube and TikTok and social and
Instagram,
LinkedIn, Facebook, and things like that.
Yeah.
LinkedIn, not so much yet. I'm going to be starting to post the things that I create there to, as you say, syndicate the information across multiple channels. I have a team that's doing the actual pushing out, and they're hyper busy with fixing some tweaks on the website, and they're running thin. So as soon as they're done with that, I'll say, here's all this wonderful content. Push it out, please, because I'm just going to sit here and create it, and y'all push it out.
So one of the things that we've did, we were talking before, right? What we do as a company, and this is what we're trying to do, is how do we take that burden and make it easier, right? So one of the things we did is we developed a AI what I would call mini platform. It takes one piece of content from the founder, right, or whoever is on the CMO team, marketing team, and it breaks it up and reformats it to syndicate across all those channels, right? So it makes your life easier. That's how you have to think about AI. Just what you're doing, Taylor, with the email, right? You need to start to think about those things of how do I take the monotonous piece out of this, and the valuable piece, which you don't ever want to trade, is the content and the ideas that you're putting out there. So as you start to think about that, those are the thing. And again, this is not pitching our service. This is a way of thinking, right, with AI. Is what can it unlock, especially when you have limited resources, of how do I free them up, right? So they don't have to do that grunt work. The grunt work is take a LinkedIn post, shorten it, put it on Instagram, right? A shortened version of it. Take that, reformat it, and put that on TikTok, right? Those are the things AI can flatten. Right.
And those are the things that you don't think about because it's Monday. Right. And they weren't doing it last Thursday. And they are today. And tomorrow it'll be something completely different.
Yeah. And so like one of the things that we've added.
Absolutely staggering.
Yeah. And what's cool is where it's going, right? And we're piloting out, and we have this thing in beta where I would send you an email and the AI would interview you about the topic we decide. And then it goes back into our system and it breaks it all up and it does all the auto syndication, right? That's how we're trying to figure out, is how do we take stuff you don't want to do, but keep the key piece that you have to do. And that's so when you're thinking about other parts of your business, That's what you want to think about AI is, how do I use it to do the pieces of that workflow that I could care less about, right? But keep the important thing, which is those ideas, those visionary ideas in your head coming out, right?
I've actually been using it to hone my ideas. One of the things I'm working on is I've got tons and tons of stories going back 25 years. Each one of them tell a little piece of the whole pie, and I'll write it and I'll have ChatGPT edit it, and not write it, but
or give you a draft, right?
Parts to be RE there.
Yeah.
Bless its heart, Lord. I said, all right, I'm going to start a new one today, and my topic's going to be this. Be prepared. And it just wrote it. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Stop. He says,
yep.
Oh, it's just putting placeholders. Like,
yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you. No. I'm going to keep talking to it nice. I know you're supposed to be really forceful, but when they come alive, and they're going to remember I was the nice one.
Yeah, you need to teach it to ask you the questions like one at a time, right? Like, so
that's one of the things I found out yesterday. Actually, last week I was working on a new deck, and it has a structured order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. And I accidentally skipped part of the format and went straight on into 6 when I was supposed to be on page 4, and it did it. And I caught that it let me skip part of the process. I said, all right, new memory, new core memory. Do not let me skip outside of the process that we both agreed this is the process. And you just, in an attempt to be nice, did the thing that I told you to do, not stop and said, hey, that's not what we talked about. You really need, you put that too early, and it will update. And now it's going to challenge me. This is why I always pay for the model. Don't just get the free one. Yeah. Challenge me when I say, hey, let's just skip to the end and stop, and don't do that. And it will, in fact, do that along with you.
So tell me how you think AI is impacting your industry. AI, data, and automation, right? To me, it all goes together. And how do you think it is impacting the retail industry in general? And you can add e-commerce in there, right? Because they really are. They go hand in hand, but they're different in the way they do it. But I've talked to a lot of retailers, and I get a lot of different answers. So I would love to hear your perspective, Taylor.
It's impacting on a number of levels. We used to deal with a retailer. Sadly, it was a bad mix, but they used AI to route product and send it to supposedly the right locations. Unfortunately, they had a human interjecting in there and say, send it here in these subsets, but using this subset, route it the correct way. Now, had they backed up and let AI just figure out which locations to put it in, it would have done a lot better than it did. So it's people using AI and fighting with it.
But fighting it, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're letting it plan, but not letting it loose. So they F around and F'd out. So I found out. So the other one that I am starting to scratch the surface on is the application of data to your storytelling at a buyer level. So you get, a lot of people get, including myself, get tons of data that you have to go and parse and see what's the good story, where do you fit in there. And I'm still letting myself and a human to look at that and say, all right, where's the good story out of this data so I can tell it. But I can see in the next 6 months, I can say, here's my data, find me the good story out of it. And then you tailor that to approach that. And hopefully your bot finds more information than the buyer's bot did, who's just looking for top level stuff. And you want to have to find the needle in the haystack and say, yeah, but look at this because you're really going to make money this way. And that's going to be really key. It will prevent people like me from going and barking up a tree that I don't need to bark up.
Yeah.
Not there yet, but it is so very, very, within a year, I can see just having it pick where I need to go and helping me tailor my approach to that. I can honestly see within 5 years or even less where bright minds think of a product and then AI finds a place to sell it and it just fits the pieces together, and all you have to do is just make your widgets and it goes and finds the people that are going to sell it. Now, what that's going to do, I have no idea.
Right. It's going to be interesting, right?
Who's it going to put in the right items in the right hands? Nobody knows. It's kind of like you're coming to the new world in the 1900s and you get on a boat and someone invents the plane halfway there and everybody beats you to it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the people who are on the fancy boat were like, I'm well prepared. And the guy they just invented the plane. They beat you by 3 weeks. They got all the jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. I got another question for you. So we've had a number of online retailers like yourself that sell direct and also that sell through channels like Amazon and retailers. And one of the common themes that I have heard is that, that there are a number of trends happening, but also the one that stood out the most was the younger generation's connection to the brand. And I feel like something like Charlie Soap plays so right into that equation because they're more connected to what the brand's about and the product, ingredients, the product, what it can do. Is it natural for the environment? All these kind of things play into how the younger generations pick their brands, right? Whereas when we grew up, it was an advertising machine. Right. It was the big brands and that was it. And no one really I never read an ingredient thing in my life. Now, because of what's available to us, that is changing even for me. And I'm guessing our generation in general, let alone where the younger generations, when I talk to my kids who are all just out of college, they all resonate. The brands matter. Are you seeing that trend, Taylor?
It's hard to pull that out of a trend because we've always been that way.
Yeah, it's natural to you, right?
Yeah. My very first sale here from Mayodan in Stoneville, North Carolina, was in Tahunga, California, with the caption "I love Charlie Soap." So by connection of brand to a person, it made it all the way out to California before it touched anywhere else. Before it made it to Greensboro, it was in California. So that was a brand connection. The trick is how do you drive that? Yesterday it was influencers. Today it's podcast. Before that it was radio. Before that it was TV.
Yeah.
And it was all about bright and flashy. And to some extent that is that because the demographics got 1 foot in one generation and 1 foot in the other. So I got both of them.
Yep.
Some of them are still watching infomercials at 11:30 at night, and the other ones are watching nothing but TikTok, which is why we're trying to do both. I don't know how I see that, but I don't know if it's necessarily a change in the industry. I don't have any.
Well, one of the things we had someone on the podcast that was saying that the QR codes on the package, right, where they look at it and they read the brand story, is becoming more of a trend, right? Again, I would think you'd have to just monitor that and see how that transcends. But if that gains popularity, or, you start to see, just like you would see how many people viewed a video, right? How many people are looking and reading about the brand and the backstory of the brand. That, to me, is going to be an interesting metric or KPI to track.
Yes, actually, because the way Google changed their whole ranking system like 2 weeks ago, or 3-4 weeks ago, which is, do you have content that AI can read and regurgitate, or tweak and send to consumers? We didn't. We had a lot of static stuff, but AI wasn't grabbing it. So we are now actively speaking to people about things that they care about. Is it natural for those traditional buyers? Is it a better choice for you traditional buyers? And is it a better working product for you green buyers who are used to being able to eat it but not actually do anything? And we can tailor that message, and it's getting picked up. And you can see it's chasing data. And there's a whole lot of data. What is going to be interesting, you've got humans viewing the data. I think one of the next iterations will be an AI chasing that data and finding it and saying, pivot your message here. Right. Because they're looking, for instance, one of the things I found out that it took a person to find it was we rank very, very high in people searching for baby-related laundry detergent. I don't even have a baby-related coded laundry product that says Charlie Soap for babies. A lot of my competitors do, but we ranked higher than them, completely missing out on our opportunity.
Right.
But they had to do a deep dive to find that. And I can see the next step of having a bot watching that kind of stuff and just constantly hitting your inbox. Hey, you're missing something. Go ahead. In fact, not only are you missing, I've already gone and developed a label for you and bought the product, so you're ready to go.
Right. Start making it, Taylor. Yeah. Start making a Charlie Soap for babies.
I mean, the new capability of these things using tools and actually create and actually going into websites and fixing things. And that's just step one. Step two is obviously physically buying things.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So new. It is scary, but it's fun to watch and be on.
Right. But it could also be exciting. It could open up new revenue streams. Yeah. Be great.
I love it.
Be great.
Change is good.
Yes, I love it. All right. So last thing is there anything cool you do yourself with AI that you think other founders and execs would find interesting?
I think it's cool. Like I said, I've had this story about Charlie Soap in my head forever, and I've always I'm not a graphic artist at all. I know how to say what I want, but I can't draw a stick figure. So being able to use the new image technology along with its understanding and reasoning, I can say, I want to talk about this product to this audience with this impetus behind it. And I want to make it sound funny, but not too funny, blah, 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 blah. Right. And I tell it specifically, give me an outline. And then I take the outline. I say, all right, I approve this outline. Now let's go back and do slide 1. Give me some titles, some bullets, spit it out, and a way that you think it would look. And then I let it give me some titles and outlines, and then I build it manually. Yeah. And then I said, all right, I like your approach of the visuals. Give me an image that matches that. Then I plug it all in, and then we go back and forth until we get to 10 out of 10. And I have a fully built deck that I built. I didn't ask it, hey, build me a deck, because that's useless. Right. That's completely useless. But
no, you want to build the outline, and then the deck comes later.
Yeah, build the outline, help me build the imagery, and help me speak to somebody who wants to listen to me. And then once I've got a perfect thing, then I give it to my team, and they're like, dude, that's perfect. Or change slide 2. I don't know what you're talking about. What is a flurbit? Oh, God. I literally cut and paste. Don't cut and paste. Cool. But yeah, that collaboration of having a designer sitting next to you, and it's leaps
Next
and
time
bounds.
You build that outline just to do an A/B test. Well, I always do this because there's so many cool things. Throw it up in napkin.ai. It's a free tool, right? And it builds decks that way. And I've had a lot of great feedback. We use it ourselves. Just try it, and again, and compare and see which one, and just go with the one you like, because they're both, you're already paying for one. One's the other free, and you'll see which one. But it doesn't build the outlines. It just builds the graphics into a deck. And I've had a number of people rave about that. And I'm like, very cool.
I think what I'll do is I'll build the outline, approve the spit that outline into the other one. Getting these things to parody.
Yeah.
Hey, build me an outline to talk to this one to talk to this one. Yeah. And it's pretty close that they'll start talking to each other. They'll use it.
Yeah, they don't today, but I totally agree.
Totally agree. Not yet.
Yeah. Well, hey, Taylor, this has been awesome. I love, all the things you're doing. I love your brand. I'm definitely going to try Charlie Soap ourselves as well. Yeah. But just for everybody out there, tell them how to go and try Charlie Soap.
The best thing to do is to go to www.charliesoap.com. There is a way to purchase anything that you want to on our website. And if you're a Prime member, you can take advantage of free shipping from items that are in the Amazon warehouse. And you don't have to pay we're not a shipping company, so that's it. But go to charliesoap.com and find out everything you want to know. If you are near a Kroger, a Whole Foods, a Fresh Market, a Harris Teeter, etc., go pick it up there too. And there is a retail locator on our site. That's where you can find it locally.
I love it. And we'll have all the links below when this thing goes live. But Taylor,
I'll tell you this one time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you this. I'll end with this.
Yeah.
When you switch to Charlie Soap, you will have an eye-opening experience. You will smell and feel and taste and hear every version of every detergent you have ever used come out of your clothes. This is normal. Let it detox your laundry and get that out. And about 2 or 3 washes in, you will have brand new garments again. They'll stay that way forever.
That's amazing. I can't wait to try. I mean,
absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome. Awesome. And we'll try the cleaners too. Thank you, Taylor. This has been great. We're going to be rooting for you, and keep playing. You're on the right track. You're just scratching the surface of what you can unlock with AI for your team. And look, we're all resource constrained. I don't care what company you're running. No one has unlimited resources. If you can get the mundane out with AI, that's the first step, right? Use cases matter. And AI virtual workshop very soon that is for founders and CEOs. That is exactly this. Give you ideas on use cases to unlock that you're not thinking of. So anyway, it'll be recorded. We'll send it out to everybody. But our goal, as everybody knows on this podcast, is to help founders, CEOs, and leaders grow their companies faster. Yep. Cool. That's it.
And the cool thing is you've been talking to a bot this whole time. I'm actually
Or you stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, right?
That too. If you're old enough to date yourself in that commercial.
Awesome. Taylor, you've been a delight. I can't wait to get this thing up and live. And we will see everybody on the next episode. Thanks, Taylor.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was fun.
If you're ready to embrace change and lead with innovation, be sure to subscribe and never miss an episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Future Proof Podcast.